Good day, everyone. I am Periolo Jeric E. Banaag from the CMSC 209. The organization that I picked is the Museo ng Kasaysayang Pampulitika ng Pilipinas. My proposed management information system for the organization is that the visitation logs, the visitor feedbacks, and the generation of the reports will now be done through an application and not the previous design that they will manually log everything through the logbook.
The Museo ng Kasaysayang Pampulitika ng Pilipinas. About the organization. It is formally located at the ground floor of the NHCP building, TM Calo Street. The Museo ng Kasaysayang Pampulitika ng Pilipinas, or the Museum of Philippine Political History, was inaugurated in 1995 and reconceptualized 2 years later with the theme, The Filipino Struggle for Freedom. The museum thus traces the evolution of the Filipino nation-state and the emergence of its system of government and democratic traditions amid the backdrop of long struggles for independence. Miniature dioramas, theatrical backdrops, interactive terminals, and original artifacts recreate these periods, from the earliest communities to the Spanish and American colonial periods. Through the Second World War until the present, major events and figures in the country's political history are highlighted in the process. The museum now stands in a new home, the Casa Real in Malolos, Bulacan, whose sole exhibit focused on the women of Malolos. With the opening of the Alberta Huitangcoy House as the Museo ng Kababayan in Santo Niño, Malolos in 2012, however, and the subsequent removal of artifacts owned by the Women of Malolos Foundation, the NHCP decided to close the remaining exhibits and transfer the Museum of the Philippine Political History to Malolos, which was, after all, the seat of the first Philippine Republican government. Casa Real is a reproduction of the original structure built in 1580. Known by different names for different functions throughout its 437-year history, Ayuntamiento, Casa Tribunal del Pueblo, Casa Presidencia Municipal, Presidencia Municipal, Municipal Hall, Pamahalang Bayan ng Malolos. The Casa Real also functioned as the seat of the Royal Treasury, National Printing Press, a hospital, a school, and was even used by the provincial branches of a telecommunications company, a bank, and the post office. It aims to trace the political developments in the creation of the Filipino nation, call attention to major events, figures, challenges, and issues that have shaped Philippine political history. Casa Real was declared a national shrine in 1965 by Executive Order No. 170. The strength of the organization is that, with its adoption of the ISO 9001-2015 quality management standards, best practice is observed. Highly qualified personnel are operating the museum. All are civil service exam passers and having minimum educational requirements. With this, documented information, planning, and determining process interactions, management of resources, improvement of the QMS. This is due to the quality management standards. Weaknesses of the organization. It is understaffed. Only 3 persons at most are manning the place daily, including holidays. No owned website. Contact information is mostly acquired through word of mouth from other tour operators. Now, although they have a social media page, which is the Facebook, but still, they cannot market their place. Visitation logs and survey forms are done manually and to be reported to the Commission monthly. Now, this would be a problem during the peak seasons. It is most glaring, especially from April to September of a year, because although they have 3 persons as tour guides, they need to have to create the report for the month or for the year. The Casa Real Museum is not your typical museum for specific historical person, place, or artifact. It is a museum which emphasizes on the events which gives its uniqueness. Budget for the museum greatly depends on the government policies or legislation. This will have a trickle-down effect from the commission to the local museum. So with this, the restoration and the daily maintenance of the place is what is most important for the commission. But the introduction of new systems would require a very tight discussion. Conceptual design. So the present conceptual design for this application is it is a desktop application. So the user, which is part of the staff of the organization, will have to do a manual logging from a manual logbook file. So you have to log a visitor log or update a visitor log or create a new log. This is also applicable for the visitor feedback. The user has to get from the manual logging and create a new feedback form and update visitor feedback. Here you can generate report for the demographics, monthly report, and annual report. The demographics is required by the National Statistical Office. This will contain the age of the visitors, the gender, and also number of foreigners. For the conceptual design future plan, it is now a web application. So the main page has an option for the staff to log in, but also for visitors to do the booking and access the FAQs. So for the booking, they can have an online booking. Also, visitors can have an online feedback which is connected to the system. The staff can have a login ID and create a visitor log or update a visitor log. They can also still have the visitor feedback to create a new feedback or update an existing visitor feedback. From this application, you could also generate report for the demographics, monthly report, and the annual report. From here, you cannot just create a report, you can also save the file. For the system and user interface, the existing design is that the main menu will have the login page, the FAQs portion, and about the organization portion. In the future web application design, it will be connected to the website, an online booking, and having an online customer feedback. But still, with this system, you can edit visitor log, create a visitation log, generate report, edit a customer feedback, and create a customer feedback. You can have your monthly report, annual report, and demographics. For this MIS to be successfully created, we'll be needing 2 personal computers for the database and application installation. Also, we'll be needing 1 purchase of office printer for report generation. We need the installation of Microsoft Office, so we need the license for this to be applied to the computer. Also, the installation of MySQL, so that we'll be needing this for the repository. Also, we'll be installing a PHP and Apache HTTP server for the application and website. For the implementation plan, here's the Gantt chart I have created. And as you can see, I have a visitor logbook file and a visitor feedback file, each having a 15 mandate. It is because it will require effort and time for this to migrate from the manual logbook to the new